Hi, this is McKenna Faith Winters, and you're listening to Hanks Jr. on Hank's Corner.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Hank's Corner, brought to you by the Tiki Cove in Land O'Lakes, Florida. I'm your host, Hank Jr., part of Hank Jr. Productions, where you know I'm documenting life's moments through photography, videography, and, of course, podcasting. And I'm so excited to have this talented artist on my show tonight. Please welcome McKenna Faith Winters. McKenna, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I am doing wonderful. And as people know that I'm in a little corner in the Tampa Bay, Florida area. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from kind of near Chicago, about an hour away, more northern Illinois.
Okay, so you're an Illinois girl, and I don't know too much about Illinois. I do know a little bit about Chicago because I've been following the Cubs for about, I don't want to say how many years, but since I was about 5 years old, I used to watch the Cubs on WGN, and I actually got to go to my first Cubs game in Wrigley Field about a year or so ago. So that's about all I know too much about Chicago. So you'll probably have to school me in on some of the other things. And as far as the weather right up there, how are you guys doing? Are you still freezing up there?
It's getting better. I know it's supposed to get colder throughout the week, but it's been warmer the last week or so, but it's going to get cold again, I know.
Yeah, I know when I was up there, because I actually went up there a couple times. One time was actually for work, and I kind of enjoyed being in the 40s and 50s for a change. Here in Florida, we get the hot summers, and I just die anyway. I always look forward to the cooler weather, but I also bring that up because I've actually had a few Canadian artists this year on the podcast, and they're talking about they still have snow on the ground.
Our snow actually it just melted. We had a good maybe 7 inches of snow on the ground, piles everywhere. But it just melted actually.
Oh, okay. And do you like the snow, or do you find it just inconvenient?
I do not like snow.
Well, I know when I was growing up, when I used to like the snow only because it got me out of school a lot of the times, growing up in the New Jersey area. But after I got old enough to have to start working and start driving and all that stuff, it was definitely a nuisance to dig the car out. And I'm driving a Camaro, so that's not a very good thing to drive on snow and ice. So, now I would be happy if I could just see it once a year. But that's all that I really need. And so as far as the year going for you, we're already into February. How's the year started out for you?
Pretty good. I had my first release party for One Girl to Another.
Yes.
And I sang the national anthem for my school this weekend.
Yeah, definitely starting off the new year right. And we're definitely going to be talking about One Girl to Another because it's a great song that's actually getting some traction, really good traction out there. So we will definitely be talking about that and playing on it. But you also have some other good stuff coming up as well. It sounds like you're going to be headed down to Nashville for CRS.
Yes, I think I'm playing on the 29th and the 2nd of March.
Okay. And have you been to Nashville before?
Yes, I have been to Nashville many times.
Okay, and what do you think of Nashville?
I love it down there. My whole family wants to move down there soon. I think I've been there about 6 times in the last year, maybe. And I was there twice in November, twice in December, I think. And then
it's definitely a happening town. It's definitely a happening town over there, and I love getting up there as many times as I can. For me, though, I don't know how far it is from you, but for me, it's about a good, what is it, something like 14 hours of driving time. So it is a little bit of a ways for me, but I love Nashville. And I don't know if you find this the same way that I do, because of, just different things. You're in the music, you're younger, and I'm coming from the outside as a photographer sort of thing. But Nashville always seems to be a family type town. And I don't mean necessarily that, families can go there because they can and enjoy it, but I mean, everybody kind of comes together as a family. I know that there's competition. I know that everybody's trying to make a buck and that sort of thing, but there's so many people that just gather around and collaborate. Have you found that to be your experience?
Yes, everybody down there is so supportive of everybody, no matter what you do. Everybody's always there for you. It's just a great place.
Yeah, definitely. And, I like the way your parents are thinking to move over there. I'm not ready to leave Florida. I think I'm going to retire down here, but having a second home there, if I could ever do that, would be great. But let's talk about your latest single, One Girl to Another. It just came out. It was on my New Music Friday post not too long ago. Tell us a little bit about this song.
One girl to another. It's the type of song that should go from one girl to another. It's just a great way to show other girls that they support each other and they should support each other. There's not a big story behind it, but it's just a great meaningful song.
Yeah, definitely. No matter what it is, whether it's, girls with other girls or, in the industry, a lot of times you do see a lot of tearing down, a lot of negativity. And I don't understand why. I guess it's just human nature, but it's good to get back to the basics. And, a song like this that says, hey, you know what? We're all in it together. So I'm glad that you put this one out. So let's go ahead and play One Girl to Another here on Hank's Corner.
Don't know me, but I sure know what it's like to be hanging off his every word, thinking you're the reason his world turns. It turns for you, used to turn for me, but you'll see who he turns out to be. From one girl to another, from one ex to the next, boys like him don't ever change. Don't go thinking you're so different before you head into a heartbreak. Here's a little something you should know. To him you're just a number, and he goes from one girl to another. Hey girl, did he hold your door? Dance it down the aisle of the grocery store. He turns it on for you, he turned it on for me, but I'll turn it back off just as easily. From one girl to another, from one ex to the next, boys like him don't ever change. Don't go thinking you're so different before you head into a heartbreak. Here's a little something you should know. To him you're just a number, and he goes from one girl to one girl, get in the line. Why do you think you'd ever change it up this time? Oh, run girl, don't you look back. You don't need a guy who's gonna treat you like that. From one girl to another, from one ex to the next, boys like him don't ever change. Don't go thinking you're so different before you head into a heartbreak. Here's a little something you should know. To him you're just a number, and he goes from one girl to another. One girl, he goes from one girl to another.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr., and you just heard One Girl to Another by McKenna Faith Winters. And, tell me, I know you're not going to have a huge story because you're still young, but, let's go back. Tell me, how did you get started into the music industry, and when did you kind of say, you know what, this may be something I want to pursue?
Music, I've always loved music. When I was a kid, I remember singing in the car. I remember my parents got our first karaoke machine, and I was singing in the living room. And then when COVID hit, we started posting videos of me singing, and I got all dressed up all the time. I think I was still 12, probably. And everybody loved it, so we started posting more and more, and it just kept growing from there.
Yeah, that's one thing about COVID. As bad as everything was, and things got shut down. The health problems that people have. Obviously it was something bad, but I think that was one of the good things that it did was, I mean, even platforms like mine were able to kind of do this sort of thing and post, whether it's podcast or your own playing at home music on social media. And I think it gave, even though we were so far away, I think it gave fans an opportunity to feel closer to the artist. Was that kind of what you saw as well, whether you being the singer or you being the fan?
Yeah, no, at that point, everybody was home bored. They were trying to find something to do, something to listen to. I think it was just a great way to get myself out there.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of artists definitely benefited from that as well. And so let's back up a little bit. So you said you're there with the karaoke machine and singing. What kind of songs were you singing? Who were you singing along to?
Actually, it was the song was Cruise by Florida Georgia Line. I think I have the video somewhere, but it was so funny. I think I was probably 4 or 5.
And that's something that you still like to do, even though you're 10 years down the road from there. You still love doing that karaoke thing, don't you?
Yeah, open mic nights, karaoke, everything. It's so fun.
Yeah. And one of the things I did want to ask about is, I heard that you kind of did things a little bit backwards, or at least that's how you explained it before. As far as getting into the music industry, I guess you kind of came straight off with just the singing, and now you're going back and trying to learn the different other aspects of the music industry and playing instruments. How is that going for you?
It's weird. Like you said, I started recording songs, and before I started even performing in front of anybody, I really only started performing. I think I've only done it 3 times maybe, and not that long. My first real time performing was probably at my release party, only like 7 songs at a time, but that was my first time actually performing in front of people.
And how did that feel?
It was nerve-wracking at first, but I started to get the feeling that I actually belonged there, and it was what I was meant to do.
Okay, yeah, and I assume that it was going to be nerve-wracking if you haven't done it, that many times. But when it was all said and done, did you get the bug and say, you know what, I'm ready to do this again?
Yes, I did.
All right, well, that's awesome. And then, I look forward to you playing over there at CRS. We're going to play a couple of songs back to back, and I want to put these together because both these songs did really well. Number 1 on the indie charts between the UK and Canada. Here's Monuments and Heartstrings Attached.
The bleachers where you kissed me when we lost that game. Every late night run for shakes at Dairy Queen. I can never forget that Wonder Tower sunset where you said you couldn't live without me. Guess everything we did and everywhere we went meant more to me than you. Now I can't drive downtown and with our old crowd, 'cause your memory's still haunting me now. Can't drive by your house and take the long way around. Those places are what's left of us, and I wanna tear those monuments down. Whoa, whoa, I wanna tear those monuments down. Whoa, whoa. The church on Main Street where I met your family, that Sunday afternoon under the old oak tree. You said that you would marry me, but sometimes love ain't meant to be. Why are you still standing while I'm crumbling? I can't drive downtown, hang with our old crowd, 'cause your memory's still haunting me now. Can't drive by your house and take the long way around. Those places are what's left of us, and I wanna tear those monuments down. Whoa, whoa, I wanna tear those monuments down. Whoa, whoa. Your stone cold goodbye, it's like a statue in my mind, won't let me forget about you. I can't drive down and I wanna tear those monuments down. Whoa, whoa, I wanna tear those monuments down. Whoa, whoa, I wanna tear those monuments down. Those monuments we could keep this thing going, say everything's just fine. I could say that I'm happy, but that would be a lie. Do you not care like I do? Do you not have anything to lose? Must be nice to be the one wearing your shoes. Then I could fall, but not fall all the way. Use three little words to make you stay. Break promises and twist and turn the facts. Text the nights when we're out at night. Now feel a thing when I make you cry. Don't know how you do it, boy, 'cause I can't. Wish I could love you like a man, with no heartstrings attached. Started out as a good time, guess I wanted more. I can't help it, I go all in. It's my style, but it ain't yours. Let's trade places, me and you. Flip it to my point of view. Give you a taste of what it's like loving you. Then I could fall, but not fall all the way. Use three little words to make you stay. Break promises and twist and turn the facts. Text the nights when we're out at night. Now feel a thing when I make you cry. Don't know how you do it, boy, 'cause I can't. Wish I could love you like a man, with no heartstrings attached. Whoa, then I could fall, but not fall all the way. Use three little words to make you stay. Break promises and twist and turn the facts. Text the nights when we're out at night. Now feel a thing when I make you cry. Don't know how you do it, boy, 'cause I can't. Wish I could love you like a man, with no heartstrings attached. Let's trade places, me and you.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr. This is brought to you by the Tiki Cove, and my special guest is McKenna Faith Winters. And you just heard Monuments and Heartstrings Attached. And like I said, they kind of did really well, and I'm saying that facetiously because they got #1 on those charts, on those different indie charts in UK and Canada. Was that kind of a shock to you? And when it happened, how excited were you?
I couldn't believe it when I heard it. It's a start. It really is. The funny thing is the U.S. won't play my music, won't play any music unless you have some kind of record deal. And now I have one with MC1 Nashville, so hopefully it can get out there even more. So.
Yeah, and that is definitely a tough thing. I mean, I hear it all the time in the music industry. Going with the label versus not going with the label. Being your own person and independent and doing what you want to do, and hoping social media takes you to where you need to go, and then having that label. So there is a fine line to that. But I definitely wish you the success with MC1 there in Nashville. But not only that, you're still in school. How do you find the time to balance everything with school and music? Because I know music's got to take up a lot of your time.
Yeah, it does, but you kind of find that place where you can manage it. I also am in sports too. I had to quit basketball this year. One, I had an injury, and two, so I could keep doing this. I thought about it. If I didn't quit basketball this year, I would have missed a lot of practicing games because I went to Nashville 4 times in the last 3 months. So school, it's definitely hard to keep up with that every once in a while. But
and is that going to be a permanent thing to leave behind those sports to pursue the music, or do you think you might be able to slip it back in there?
I'm still playing softball right now. Otherwise, I think at least until high school's over, I think I'm going to stay in softball with sports too. So
okay, well, I hope you can balance it. I've talked to other artists such as Molly Lovett and Peyton Howie. Molly gave up basketball to pursue music, and Peyton gave up, playing college softball to pursue music. And it's just one of those things. Unfortunately, sometimes you just gotta, make the choice between the two. And I guess that's something you're starting to learn, and how to create that balancing act.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And as far as at school, what does the the music side of it do for you as far as popularity? And I don't want to say popular because that's not the right word, but has that brought you into other circles? And do people from your school, like, oh, that's McKenna and she's doing awesome out there, or is it just kind of pulled you away from school?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are very supportive about it. But there's also people that you would think would say something but never do. I know when I'm gone at Nashville a lot, sometimes people don't ask me about things because they think I'm busy and stuff like that. But there's an in-between between who is there for you and who supports you and who's not. So.
Yeah, and that's always, like I said, a tricky thing because to some aspects I would think hey, it does make an artist more popular in school, but like you said, when you're taken away, people think, well, you're too busy, and it does create a weird dynamic. But I guess you're managing that as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to go ahead and play because I think this is definitely appropriate as the Super Bowl is coming up. I definitely want to play Kelsey. And when we come back, I want you to tell me the backstory to that.
Okay.
I see you standing there, bright eyes, short brown hair. I'm trying not to stare, 'cause you don't even know me. There's a movie in my head, like a fairy tale that I read. We could be much more than friends, if you knew what I was thinking. I'm a queen, looking for a king, wishing on a star for a dream like you, boy. We could be the sweetest team, like a summer day with an ice cold LaCroix. Can you see what I'm trying to say? Is I've got a love story and it's got a blank space. Baby, you belong with me. I could be a Taylor, you could be my Kelsey. Oh, I could be your Taylor, you could be my Kelsey. I just can't shake it off. You've got style, you're the one. Water streams, yeah, all I want is a tight end, diving for a touchdown. I'm a queen, looking for a king, wishing on a star for a dream like you, boy. We could be the sweetest team, like a summer day with an ice cold LaCroix. Can you see what I'm trying to say? Is I've got a love story and it's got a blank space. Baby, you belong with me. I could be a Taylor, you could be my Kelsey. could be my Kelsey. You could be my Kelsey.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. You just heard Kelsey by McKenna Faith Winters, and there's definitely a lot of Taylor Swift and Kelsey references in there. Tell us a little bit about that backstory, and are you even a football fan at all?
Football, I do not watch football that much. I know about it. I know a little bit about football, but I don't watch it a whole lot. So Kelsey, we were in Nashville recording Backbiting, which is not out yet, and One Girl to Another. So we were recording Backbiting the first day we were there, and then we're going to record One Girl to Another the second day. And then my producer, Cedric Israel, who's also co-written all of these songs for me, he was like, hey, we just wrote this song. Do you want to listen to it? And I was like, yeah, sure. And we listened to it, and we said, this is really good. So he said, do you want it? And we said, yeah. So we ended up doing Backbiting and One Girl to Another the same day, and then recorded Kelsey the next day, which I had to listen to that song a lot. Between less than 24 hours, we had to listen to that song. And it went great. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely a good song, and I ask you that about the football because I did hear that you are a fan of Taylor Swift's earlier stuff. You don't necessarily consider yourself a Swiftie, so right. I didn't know what brought you to that, if it was Taylor Swift or Kelsey that did that, and I guess it's just really the song itself that brought you to want to sing it.
It's such a vibe, and at that time, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were very viral on the internet. So really, how can we pass this up?
Yeah, definitely. And, the Kelce brothers, they have their own little podcast going as well. And I was like, you know what, if I could ever just kind of do what they're doing over there and, that would be awesome just to go viral, like you said, doing that. Are you even going to watch the Super Bowl, though, even if it's just for the commercials?
I'll watch the Super Bowl, yes.
Okay. Are you going for the Kansas City Chiefs then?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to actually abstain. I mean, even though that, the coach used to be the coach from the Eagles, that's been a long time and done with. I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan, and I don't know what happened the second half of the season, but they didn't show up, so they're not in it. So I'm pretty much there just to watch the game, not root for anybody, and hopefully there's good commercials this time. Now, you said you do play some sports, and you talked about a little bit about the basketball and softball. Being that you're 15 years old, I have a daughter that's 15 years old, and she grew up from the time she played t-ball, playing baseball with the boys. She's done that, and as a matter of fact, I decided to go ahead and wear the Florida Bolts jersey. It's an all-girl baseball team that plays nationally, but she did play mostly with the boys, and now, though, this is her first real season of playing softball. She's kind of making that transition. She's still doing both. What advice would you have for her about playing softball? Any hints or anything, especially coming over from baseball, that she might need to know?
I would say try your best to get along with the girls. My softball team, we get along so well, and we always have each other's backs. So that's one thing I would say, to always have each other's back. One girl to another. I mean,
and that's very interesting that you said that, and I'm glad that you did, because it's one thing I thought maybe you'd give a skill or say, hey, this is different than baseball, but for that camaraderie to get along with the team, that does mean a lot. And when we talk to one of the coaches that she may be doing some travel softball with, that is kind of one of the first thing that, because he knows that she's talented, but he said, we got to see if she fits with the team and they all like each other. So, I mean, I'm glad that you pointed that out, and, we'll be sure to pass that over to my daughter. And as far as free time, I guess you probably don't have free time, but, given the opportunity besides sports, school, and music, what are some of the hobbies that you like? Because I know animals may be one of them.
Yes, animals definitely is one of them. I tell my parents all the time, when we move to Nashville, I'm getting horses. I'm getting them. But I have more free time than they think. I'm not too busy right now, especially since we haven't been traveling that much yet. But I have been going to basketball games for like the national anthem and stuff. When it's football season, I do love going to football games with my friends and being in the student section. I'm always in the student section. You'll always find me there. I just love being with friends.
Yeah, definitely the typical what I expect from a teenager to do, and enjoy that while you got, because I know you're going through the music industry and getting a taste of that. But don't forget about your life, your friends, that sort of thing, because that's something that you're going to look back on one day and say that I'm glad that I kept those relationships going.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I always got to talk about food on my podcast because I like to eat, and it kind of gets me in trouble that I do. And when I was up in Chicago, I did have some of the staples of Chicago, the bratwurst, the hot dogs, the pizza, that sort of thing. What are some of your favorite foods?
You wouldn't believe me, but my pizza is not my favorite food. We get pizza all the time, and at this point, I'm just sick of it. It's not that I don't like it, but it's just we have it a lot. So.
And is it the deep dish, or is it the
regular, regular pizza, thin crust? Yeah. But I think my favorite food is probably a good cheeseburger or a steak.
Oh, well, then you got me right there, because I definitely love the cheeseburgers and steak. And so, if we ever get together, the families together, I definitely would go to a nice little steakhouse. That works for me. And so if anybody, I know you're just kind of starting out, but I always like to ask this question. If anybody comes to watch you, what can they expect from a McKenna Faith Winters performance?
I wouldn't know yet because I haven't done a whole lot yet. I honestly couldn't tell you. I've only done probably one that wasn't even a full show.
Well, let me ask this. I know that you said at the, at your party that, you kind of did a lot of your songs. And is that what you kind of want to put out and do a lot more of your songs at the shows as opposed to covers, half and half, or, how do you want to lay that out?
Yeah, I'm hoping once I get more of my songs out, I'll do most of mine. And then obviously until then, I'll probably have to do covers. My favorite is Ariana. She's my favorite. I love doing her covers. Kelsey Ballerini, which is what I did at my release party, actually. So.
Okay. And, unfortunately, to some extent, if you do get into that Nashville scene, they're going to make you do a lot of covers, depending on which establishment that you are. And for me, it's kind of a shame. I mean, I like sometimes when they do the covers, but usually when I'm coming to Nashville, I want to see the artists play their stuff. And it's, one of those things that it's just not always easy to do depending on where they're playing. But, I definitely wish you well. I'm definitely looking forward to more of the new music that you're coming out. As far as CRS and that sort of thing. It was definitely an honor to have you here on the show. And, if you ever want to be on Hank's Corner, you're more than welcome to.
No, thank you for having me.
I was driving to a new big city, starting a job, trying to make my living. I was happy till I hit a detour and delay. As the sun came down, I saw a small town, a country done and lit up with neon. Outside I heard the honky-tonk music play. I told myself it's gonna be alright, but self told me to hold on tight. I'm a city girl on the back road riding for life. I'm doing country tonight. In my Bureau wing, I'm looking so fine. Got my Dooney and Burke to go inside. When I walk into the place, every face turned and looked at me. Well, I tossed my hair and held up my head. I could hear their whispers and read their lips. Found a table, more than able to hold my own, you see. I told myself it's gonna be alright, but self told me to hold on tight. I'm a city girl on the back road riding for life. I'm doing country tonight. betray my roots. There might be a fox in a chicken coop, so I flat to smell like my jewelry shining in the light. Oh, these clink-up boys with their big truck toys were having fun and making some noise, but it's easy to see they know how to treat a lady right. He won me over with his big broad shoulders and a heart as big as his head. He had a smile like a child on Christmas morning, swept me away without warning when he asked me to dance. I told myself it's gonna be alright. Myself told me to hold on tight. I'm a city girl on the back road riding for life. I'm doing country tonight. Yeah, I'm doing country tonight. Come on, oh, I'm a city girl. I'm a city girl. Come on, oh, yeah, I'm doing country tonight.